Donnie Cowart, outstanding Rustburg track star from the past, cross country as well, almost made the Olympics, 5 seconds away from qualifying time in the steeplechase. He joins me here on the Sports Buffet podcast to take a look at the distance events in the Olympics, breaks them down only like he can. It's Donnie Cowart, our expert on the distance events here on the Sports Buffet podcast. The Olympics get underway Friday with the opening ceremonies in London. Donnie Cowart joins me to preview some of the distance track events, and Donnie was very close to getting in the steeplechase. We'll talk about that event in a moment, but let's start with the 800 event. I think anytime people hear distance event, they're going to think that Africans, especially Kenyans, are going to have a good shot. Talk a little bit about the 800 in terms of what stands out to you.
So I think everybody is considering David Rudisha to be the number one candidate that could take the crown. He's the reigning world champion. He's the current world record holder, and he has a style that will allow him to be successful on almost any stage. He goes out from the gun in the 800, and a lot of times it's tough to reel that guy back in, especially a guy that doesn't die very much like David Rudisha. I think people that have a chance, at least on the American side, is definitely a Nick Symmonds, and also a new I guess I can't call him an up-and-comer because he's been in the sport for a long time, but Dwayne Solomon. He just ran his personal best. Both guys have run 143, and I think they could be solid contenders for a silver medal, and may even hunt David Rudisha down if they're in good position, and I think that's what it'll come down to.
How important is positioning on the track in terms of, I know obviously everybody starts in a different lane. Do you have to stay in that lane, and how important is positioning?
So the 800 usually starts in lanes, and then they break after the first 100. So they'll come all together into lane one. So for a guy like David Rudisha that runs out in front, he's cutting off a lot of meters because he will go right to the front and run true 800 meters. Whereas somebody like Nick Symmonds, who likes to sit in the back and slowly hunt him down, he has to swing wide and go in lane 2 and sometimes even lane 3 to get around people. And if you go into lane 2 or 3 on one turn, that could add up to 4 to maybe even 6 meters. So now you're talking about Nick Symmonds has to run 806 meters, and David Rudisha is only running 800 meters. So you have to be a lot stronger to be able to do that and hunt somebody down in that fashion.
Not trying to put words in your mouth, but Rudisha is going to have to help Rudisha lose a gold medal, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. He is his own worst enemy at this point, and he has looked very good this year.
Let's talk about the steeplechase, an event that you know pretty well. A solid American team, it appears, but you've got a guy who's going for their third straight medal in the Olympics.
It is an event that the Kenyan team has been extremely successful at. You've got Paul Koech, who has made 2 really close world record attempts, and then you have Kiprutu and who is the other one? There's one other that's reigning. He's reigning world champ, and they have 2 reigning Olympic champs, one from 2008 and one from 2004, that'll both be in there. So it is an incredibly tough Kenyan field because we've never even had an American go under 8 minutes, and they have 4 Kenyans that can currently do that. So to go up against those guys with those sorts of PRs is tough. However, it'll be more tactical style of racing. So having a guy like Evan Jager run 806 recently, just last weekend he ran 806, really puts his name in the mix now to maybe be a medal contender, or maybe even be a gold medal contender if the race situation plays out in his favor.
I think the normal person just looks to see how many medals a country wins, or if a country medals in they want a medal in every sport. But talk about from the U.S. team in some of these events of it can be a success even if they don't bring home something.
Yeah. I think in the steeplechase, for instance, I think it would be a success if all 3 of our guys made the Olympic final in the steeple, because there's a prelim and then a final, and they'll only take 12 to 14 guys to that final, and there may be 36 guys shooting for those 12 spots. So if we could just do that, I think that right there would be a success in itself. Because last year, looking at the World Championship results, there were, I believe, 14 in the World Championship final for the steeple, and only 3 were non-African runners. So you have runners from Kenya, Ethiopia, Sudan, you name it, they are coming and they're bringing their A game. So for us to be successful, we're going to have to get experiences on that stage.
And they're also going to have their A game in the marathon. How tough would it be for the United States team to get something in that?
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one where the Kenyan team has many athletes that have run times that are minutes ahead of what we've run. But again, it'll be tactical, and we have guys that are capable of doing extraordinary things on that stage. Meb Keflezighi, for one, has a silver medal. Ryan Hall has run 2:04, which no American has ever run before, has never run under 2:05. So we have 2 right there that are definite contenders to get in there and give it a real shot.
We go and look at the 5,000 again. Ethiopia and Kenya have the best, but to me, when you have a country that can always kind of put one of their own in it and get them on their home ground, it sounds like Britain may have a good shot.
Yeah. I think the 5K is especially exciting because, like you said, Mo Farah from Britain has a great shot to get a medal and probably even a gold medal. And then his training partner, Galen Rupp, obviously, if it's his training partner, he has been doing some really good things because that guy is reigning world champ. So I think it's exciting to see Galen Rupp and Bernard Lagat both going into the 5K. And at the trials, I think Bernard Lagat is an extremely talented runner, and he's had a lot of success. So to see at the trials Galen Rupp outkick Bernard Lagat, that really establishes his legitimacy for a medal contention, because Bernard Lagat is one of the most decorated runners in the history of the sport, much less an American distance runner. So,
and the 10,000 Mo is going to try to do the same thing. How tough is it to pull off that double?
It's extremely tough. There's only a few athletes ever that have done that, and I think you can never underestimate that Kenyan contingent and Ethiopian contingent, for that matter. You're running against 3 from Ethiopia and 3 from Kenya, and some of the best talents in the world. So Mo and Galen will both have their work cut out for them.
I'll let you kind of pick the sport to give the analogy from. Give me the, obviously if Kenya is Michael Jordan, what's America to running? Not Michael Jordan, I know. A 6-man, per se?
Yeah, they would be almost like a Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
Great at rebounding,
right.
Not really your number one offensive guy.
Right.
So he could do something if he was given the chance, but you don't ultimately pick him to outscore Michael Jordan.
1,500, what you got?
I'm excited about the 1,500 because we had Matthew Centrowitz get a medal for the first time in a long time in the 1,500 at the World Championships just last year. So for him to go in with that experience and with, I think, a lot of confidence now, it'll be exciting to see. And Andrew Wheating has run 3:30, and Leo Manzano is always a great tactician as far as how races play out and being in good positions. So to see those guys going in battle will be promising, I think, and I think they could do some real damage. I also like to see what Nick Willis from Australia could do, and I think if those guys can race a lot like Nick Willis is a very smart and tactical racer, so I think if those guys could race like Nick Willis and like Centrowitz did at the World Championships, because he found himself in a lot of awkward positions, but ultimately made it out of those positions and advanced on to the final. So they'll be running a prelim, a semifinal, and a final. So they'll have 3 races, and they'll have to get through to every round. So it's a tough one to get through every round.
Final question for you. We'll deem you our expert here on the sports buffet when it comes to distance running with the Olympics. The Olympics only happen once every 4 years, and I don't think people take as much interest in like the World Championships as they do for the Olympics. Give me what is a win for distance track and field in the Olympics in terms of what type of showing or what can make it a memorable Olympics for the distance sports?
Yeah, I think definitely, like I mentioned in the steeple, making finals. The U.S. has got to make finals, whether it's in the 1500, the 800, the 5K. The 10K only has one race, so they're good there. And the field events as well. Making the finals is first and foremost. You can't count your medals before you get to the finals. And I think that is a big thing that has hurt us in the past, is focus on the prelims, get to the finals, and then it's business. So that's first and foremost. And then I think now that they made the finals, let's try to get in that top 5. Let's try to get in that mix and make it a race. Make those guys work for their medals. If you're not going to get a medal, make them work for their medal. And I think that's what the U.S. should be excited about, when guys get in the mix, when guys are up there in the top and racing for it.
Is it more exciting if the favorites don't win in some of these events? I mean, just in general, like if Rashida does not win in the 800?
Yeah, I think that really opens the door for the U.S. to capitalize, and I would really like to see some dark horses pull it off. I think the big thing is a lot of our athletes are the dark horses. So if some of the favorites do falter, here comes the U.S.
Donnie, appreciate your time. Enjoy the Olympics.
Yeah, thank you.